color, which y'all know I've been showing snippets of it hair day, mom maintenance day, and the color is out of my comfort zone, and y'all, I'm loving it here. So new season, new hair, new color, new everything, because baby, life, it goes on. And I said, you know what, Tan, let's go live and let's talk about it. Just kind of where I am, an update, and what better way to do that than to talk on live. So here it is, y'all. And then, I mean, even black nails. So if y'all have been following the shorts, y'all have been seeing that even black is a color I've never had on my nails. But when I say, I'm like, wow, when you step out of your comfort zone, you may just like it there. You may say, wow, this is another experience, another color, another food. Just sometimes you have to try new things, even if they're outside of that comfort zone. And I do think that that plays a part in happiness. And then I think, on the other hand, we underestimate the power of happiness, the impact of happiness. It can easily be viewed as just a word, right? Oh, it's just it's an emotion. But remember, emotion drives action. So I have always been a woman that have known that happiness matters, but you still have to prioritize. So I'm not saying to misprioritize the things that we have to do and the things that we want to do. But along the way, you have to do those things. Like I say, mom maintenance day. These are things that I do to maintain myself. And I say socially, I love to go out and talk to my hairdresser. I love to maintain myself so I can feel good. You remember, you look how you feel. You feel how you look. So y'all know that feeling of leaving the hair salon and be like, okay, life is worth living. And then wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, my hair ain't done, my nail is chipped, broken. It's just things that need to be done. And you question things. You're like, okay, the emotion that come along with how you view yourself is important. Happiness is important as it relates to a lot of different things. You know, once we're a mother, we always wear that mother hat. We're always a mother. So within that, we can't sacrifice our happiness to be within that mothering hat. No, no, no. You have to be a happy mother. You have to be a happy wife, a happy girlfriend. Happiness isn't really an afterthought, it's a process. So you want to be happy along the way and not wait till you get where you're going to be happy. So I've always said I've been great at finding happiness in the moment. And I always say, even in areas where I would consider now, let's say, when I was younger, my children are younger, I'm going through school. I didn't have a lot financially, but we were still in a very happy place because I made sure that my daughter or my children always had the things that they needed, even for myself, you know, and within reason. So when I say have things that they needed, that's, you know, shelter, that's food, you know, even little toys. I was a mom that always made sure I could balance. So sometimes it's not just about the amount, it's about how you spend the amount, how you budget the amount, how you stretch the amount. And I have always known the importance of that. So I've always made sure I was a budgeting mom. And me, I am a visual learner, so writing things down have always been important to me. So if things were due, I remember being in my early 20s, I would always have like a calendar. I love my calendars, and I would put this bill, this amount, you know, and I was always budgeting. Because sometimes, y'all know, if you don't tell it where to go, it may just walk off. And money is definitely one of those things. You know, so just being intentional. I always talk about the importance of letting your steps, they count. Each step counts. And don't get me wrong now, we may slip, we may take a step in the wrong direction, but at any moment, any day that you decide to make things anew, you may say, you know what, this job doesn't work for me. You know, this working nights isn't good for my children. Working days doesn't fit with me being a wife, you know, so it's okay to make decisions that best suit where you are. And y'all know, I think in my last live, I talked about how as women, and I'm speaking for women and men too now, we have to make decisions at a very young age. For one, they're going through high school. We leave high school at what, 17, 18 years old, right? Typically. And you have to make the decision of the career that you're going to work in, projected for the rest of your career, right? So you have to make that decision at a very young age when you're not even really living life yet. You're not even really paying bills, depending on the situation. So just being able to change with the time. So that's not to look at that decision to be fearful. If you say, well, Tan, well, what do you suggest with that thought? I would say be able to change with where you are today. So if you said, you know what, I want to be a firefighter, and that's what you do, and you're okay with being in the fire station 24-hour shifts, things like that, right? It fit you as a single eligible bachelor. But maybe when you become a family man, you may say, you know what, this no longer serves me in this season. So be okay with letting things change. Remember, seasons change. Each day is different. So I always say the importance of not being too hard on yourself when things have to change or you have to make adjustments. Sometimes you may have to take a step to the right, to the left, maybe even one step forward, maybe even two steps back. But be okay and be confident in that decision you're making today suits where you are right now. So don't be too far focused forward. That creates fear. The fear of the unknown, the fear of what could happen if I make that decision, if it fails, if it, the fear forward fear. And then you think about depression. That's that carrying things from the past forward. That's that continue to bring what happened yesterday, last week, years ago, decade, whatever it is, you're bringing it forward. So that creates that same mindset. And then I always say anxiety is like in the moment. In the moment, this makes me feel like this, which causes this to happen. So everything kind of have a trigger and event. So once you can kind of decipher where you are. So if you're afraid to, let's say, change jobs, you're scared to even start. So that fear of the forward, what am I going to do after this? Oh my gosh, could I go back to school? Those fears are stopping you from even taking that first step, doing your research. And then that's that area of procrastination. You say, man, the answer's out there. And I'm a firm believer. I hate that I don't know answer. Like, I feel like it's not an answer and it's an excuse. With the World Wide Web at our fingertips, that's Google with our AI, our artificial intelligence, it's so much at our fingertips. If you really want the answer, you are going to get the answer. So you have to be responsible for the things that you know and the things that you don't know, right? Not one or the other, or when we don't want to be accountable for our own growth. So I've always been a person to hold myself accountable. I've always been a person that does say, you know what, where do I want to be? And then I take the steps, sorry y'all, the steps to make sure those things happen. Sorry, we're all ringing over here. And one moment, y'all. Okay. So just making sure I help myself accountable. And that was even when I was a young mom. I had Tiana when I was 20. I said I can say, no, I'm young. I need to put me first. I got to put partying and things like that. I've never been like that. I've been very goal driven. And remember, when you have a goal, you're going to be able to make decisions to make sure that you complete that goal. But when you don't have a plan, you don't have a goal, you can make decisions that don't really steer you on the right path that you're meant to be on. And that sometimes happens, y'all. Sometimes those are those life lessons. And I always say, are you taking the L? What is that? Is it a lesson or is it a loss? Remember, if you walked away from something, one, you made it through. And then two, you can say, you know what? I learned from that. I grew from that. Those are going to be considered a lesson to me. So that's still a very positive outcome. Even if you made it out with nothing but just yourself, you still made it out in the mental capacity to still believe in yourself and move forward. There's so much power in being happy. There's so much power in believing in yourself. Why does your needs and your emotions matter? Because they drive action. Remember, a goal without a plan is just a goal and a dream and a wish. But for us to manifest it into reality, we still have to do the work in our physical, right? We have to believe. Then we got to start waking up each morning and being her, and waking up as him and waking up as her. I want to be a better wife. If that's your goal, you can't just say that. You have to say, I am a better wife. you know, and in any way that is. If you want to say, I want to be a better mother, I am a better mother. I'm going to get up an extra 15 minutes just to make sure that their backpacks are ready, to make sure that their homework is in the backpacks and it's not crumbled up. So by the time it gets to the teacher, it looks like a parent didn't even lay eyes on anything in the bag. Then you question homework, and then you question how available, you know, you are as a parent, or that person is a parent. So again, make those small adjustments. You see, I said 15 minutes that just allows you to grab the backpacks, look inside, make sure everything's there. It also, what it does, it shows the child that one, mom, dad's looking. Two, the teacher's going to say, wow, this parent is going through this backpack. This parent is helping. The grades show that. And again, I always tell my kids, and this is my saying, y'all, I say thrown away. I say, you don't want to go. My grandmother said this, so really it came from my grandmother. I'm going to give her the credit. You know, and that's going to be in the book, y'all. But my grandmother would say, like, thrown away. You don't want to look thrown away. You got to make sure your face is clean. Make sure you look good. It lets the world know that this child has been, the eyes have been laid on them before, intentional eyes, before sending them out into the world. So making sure that your children come in, you take a look. I've always done that. And you're doing it for you and not just for the world. But the way you present to the world is intentional. So I can't sit here and say I would want to send them to school with, you know, the little crust things in their eyes and drool, and their hair look like they slept on it. And I sent them to school that way, and they're tired. So they didn't even get the proper amount of rest. And y'all, yeah, thank you for the likes on the video. If y'all are sticking with me and feel the message, make sure y'all show me some love. Just let me know we're going in the right direction. But yeah, how I send them to school, it always matters to me. So I've always been a morning type of person. I'd rather get up early than to stay up all night. I'm at my sharpest in the morning. I'm ready to start my day. I have that intention, that momentum, a fresh start in the morning. So the way I send my children off, a part of that momentum is making sure that my children are an example of the home they live in, the mother that I am, the woman that I am. So I'm very big on that, and that's just meeting their needs, whether that's a listening ear. And this is not about, again, design or what you put your children. Y'all, I'm a mom that like what I like. So if I like something at Walmart, if a dollar store has something that I like, I'm going to get it. So it's not about what we're putting on our kids. It's the love that we feel in them, that light that shines through their eyes, their smile, their happiness matters. You know, out of that mentality that kids are just kids. So the things that make them cry, the things that make them laugh, the things that make them scared, they're all as equally important. Those emotions are so important as we're raising children, because we're teaching them, one, how to recognize them, how to deal with them as they come up, and then the right and wrong way in which people should receive them. Right? And I say that too because there's healthy ways of receiving emotion and there's negative ways of receiving it. Why are you crying? Does that make a kid that's already processing something that's traumatizing enough to make them cry? Is it important enough for you to listen and be in an open space? Is very important. But if you come at them like that, it doesn't make them, what's already going through a hard moment that's making them cry, for them to open up and be able to articulate that, depending on the age of the child. And I'm not going to necessarily say it gets easier. So when your child is just not able to put the sentence together to express what they're feeling, we have to kind of, you know, rule out some things and kind of see what's going on. For that critical thinking skill as a mom. But as a teenager, you may have a teenager that's more of a, you know, an introvert. They don't really feel comfortable naturally with expressing what they're going through. So you have to kind of know your child to child. They're all different. You know, moms of multiple children, you know, your first may act totally different from the second from the third, and the first and the third different. So each child is individual. So you kind of got to know how to decipher, how to love, how to understand, how to communicate, how to, you know, what's their happy, what's their normal. So remember, each child is different, but their happiness matters. Their smile is equally as important as their frown and their tears. So I always want my children to be able to talk to me. I've always been like that. And I'll say naturally, and then my grandmother was like that. When I tell you, she was a woman of 100 questions. And I don't mean in a day. I mean, you may be getting ready for school. And mom's going to be like, you know, Did you do this? Is that okay? You know, she's gonna make sure you're good. She's gonna inquire. I'm gonna say that. And she's gonna ask those questions that nowadays, you know, we have to remind moms, ask those uncomfortable questions. But hey, and it's only uncomfortable because you don't even want to think about it. So don't be too emotional, hard on yourself. Like, I don't want to ask the question. No, it's because, again, you don't even want to think of certain things. But we got to remember to keep that open line of communication with our kids. It's so important. So I'm the mom that's going to laugh with you. I'm going to be a listening ear at all times, right or wrong. I'm going to always give my child the opportunity to let me know their side of it, their take on it. I never make my children feel like it's whatever an adult said it because adult said it, or if even a child said it. I'm always going to want my child to know to use their voice to, yeah, you got an opinion and it matters. You have an emotion and it matters. Your happiness matters. You know, so teaching that starts young. It matters. When you cry, mom's gonna say, what's wrong? When you're happy, I'm gonna say, what's making you smile? I'm always asking because I always want to know. And I think that's so important to let our kids know that they're not walking any journey alone. Your happiness, I want to celebrate. You know, what's making you sad, I want to be there to make it right. I want to be there to protect. I want to be there to understand. And sometimes they may not need your action. They just may need you to be in the moment. Because that's still a thing too. Watching the games, y'all, I've never been the type of woman that knew how to play video games or played them growing up. And that I always attribute it to my grandmother because she was just older. So she wasn't trying to stay up to date on gadgets and technology. That just wasn't her thing. So, and it was just never my thing, y'all. My coordination, hand-eye, gaming, I just don't know. But, you know, as it relates to my children, I have to see and be in tune with what's relevant, what's going on, and just be in the moment sometimes. I have gamer children, y'all, and honestly, it's interesting, though, to see how things are changing. But just be in the moment. Undivided attention in the moment, especially in the world of technology. We can easily be distracted. We can easily not notice that it's so a part of every day to be looking at that phone swiping, but undivided attention. There's eyes that way, and remember, even not even talking, just being able to listen. And that's okay too. And that's not knowing how to. Some people are like, well, Tan, how do you approach this topic? How do you sometimes, you know, ask them if they have questions. My children are so inquisitive, y'all, and that is opening the box of 1,000 questions, but I would always prefer it to be that way. Just opening that communication, just making sure, checking in on their happiness and knowing that it matters. In friendship, it matters in just loving yourself, putting yourself first, doing the things that make you happy. And that go back to being in womanhood. You matter. Your maintenance day matter. And whatever that maintenance is, that's spiritual maintenance, that's your physical maintenance, you know, emotional maintenance. Do the things that make you the best version of you. And I'll say that's the intention of maintenance day for me, is to put my best version forward. So when I get up to do spin on my bike, I'm trying to be the healthiest version of me, which I need to start sharing some of those videos too. But y'all, let me catch up in the comments. 6-year-old is trying to take me out. Y'all, and you know what? Remember, we set the tone. Remember, kids, they're smart. They are definitely, they're smart, but I'll say sometimes they're not knowing of certain emotions. They're not knowing of what we can already see, that foresight. Remember, they haven't lived it long enough. And this is where I be feeling like I'm getting older, I'll say that. But remember, baby, it's like wine. You get better with time. You have more experience and knowledge, and just should be better. Remember, with progress should get better. Not as the best, you know, because it's going to assume that that's the end of the stop. Remember, you should be making progress to continue developing the version of yourself and your understanding and the life journey and quest. So, let's see, Incredible Mother. Thank you, Katie. And I appreciate everybody on. And y'all, it's 11 people on. I only have 4 likes. Y'all make sure y'all send me some love. Remember, it's about building communities that love and support each other. Remember, I always talk about it like it's easy to do a bad review, right, on a restaurant. When I get down, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to leave a review. And when I thought about it, I said, you know what, Tambi is intentional about leaving something positive and giving a positive comment when it's due. So remember to do things with that same intensity. Otherwise, it's going to make you look like a hater, right? I'm intentionally not, going to do what I can do. I'm not going to say, even though I want to say. Sometimes you'll end up wishing you did. And y'all know me. If you follow me and you watch my videos, I always say I can't. I'm one of those people that don't want to live with shoulda, coulda, and woulda, and be an older age and talk about the life I wish I lived and the things I wish I would have did and done. No, I'm gonna be asking myself in real time, like, Tam, what did you want to do? Where you are, is this where you want to be? Are you happy? Because again, y'all, your happiness matters. It drives the actions that you take, the fears that you conquer. Are you more willing to take on a challenge if you're already motivated and happy and like, you know what, I can do that. I can do it. Versus from a place where you're not happy, are you motivated now enough to take on things that require a little bit more of your faith, a little bit more of your effort, more of your sleep? So if you think that the things in life that are worth having aren't worth the sacrifice, then you're not already making your decisions from a real place. Even for us to wake up and say, you know what, whew, I did what I could for my kids, that means you sacrificed something. You probably got up and earlier. Remember that sacrifice of trying to get up before them just to make sure that this is in place. That's not the mom that's waking up with them. And now you and don't get me wrong, it's day to day. So never think I'm coming from a place of if that was the mom you were today or for whatever reason that I'm saying it is wrong. No, I'm saying take accountability and make tomorrow better. So I always talk about that. I never compare myself to the next mother, to the next woman. I truly believe that I am one of one, and you should believe that you are too. Now, how special and unique and gifted and all of that, and a good mother, that's totally up to you and how you weigh yourself as it relates to those different areas. Never anyone else's decision or take on it of you, it does not matter, y'all. So remember to move based on your own feeling, your own happiness. Somebody can say, man, I'm happy for you, but does that make you happy with where you are because they said they happy you over there? No, because they don't have to live it. So I have always been a woman that is going to, and if y'all feel me and what I'm saying, y'all show me some love by liking this video. But just let me know we're going in the right direction. But I think that a lot of women, a lot of men too, are understanding the power of happiness, the power of you, and being the best version of you. And it is dang sure hard to get going when the going gets hard if you're not in a place that's motivated, if you're not in the right place, if you're not in a happy place. Happiness matters. It's going to drive the action to get up an extra 15 minutes because, you say what? I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to make sure my kids are off to a good start. I want to make sure my mornings are not rushed. I want to make sure I beat the traffic so now I'm not in traffic upset and now it's a cascade of events. So start small is what I always say. I always recommend don't sit here and say that you're going to be waking up at 4 a.m. when you're used to probably waking up at 9. Start small. So that way you can feel the victory of those small wins and it motivates you and it gets you going and you're feeling that happiness and that positive energy and you can make those bigger changes, right? So it take a while. You just got to start small. Don't think about the outcome or how long. I always think about med school. People are like, I don't have 14 years or this many years to give. Those years are going to come regardless. And what you choose to do in those years and where you are at the end of those years are up to you. And sacrifice and being in your own way is, man, I think we don't give enough attention to that and enough conversation. We can easily like to blame the traffic. We can blame the car in front of us that's going slow. The one that don't know where they're going. So they are, again, on the brakes. Or we can say, you know what? I did not get out of this house in time to be what I knew was going to be out there at this time. So you got to be accountable with where you are and what you can do better. Then you can start making a decision. Say, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I don't have the patience to do this. So now I'm going to make sure I'm getting up and out of this house on time to do, right? Or you can say I'm a coffee person and I didn't get my coffee this morning. So now I'm not in, my day is not how I wanted it to start. Or you can give yourself time to get your coffee, your workout in, your affirmations, your mindset, Start small, make those wins. And it's a momentum builder. So starting small with the kids. I like to recognize and give them those in the moment compliments. So when your child is caught doing things that you are wanting them to do and on their own without you having to tell them, make sure you're recognizing them in the moment. I'm telling you, my children love those positive confirmations from me. I'll tell you, they'll do, and that's when you get the kid like, I'm like, oh, good job at that. They'll, yes, like I did it, I did. I'm like, you did that. And remember, I told them they're biggest fans. So I'm going to hype them all the way up. And that's even in your marriage, too, your relationships. When you're seeing those small, you can take the same concept and apply it in all areas. You're seeing your husband finally taking the laundry from the floor, that dirty laundry should be in the basket, and he's putting it in the basket. Let him know that you see his effort in the change too. And that motivate. Sometimes things need a little momentum to get going. And then that positivity, instead of saying, oh, he finally picked up the laundry. Does he look at it now that action is like a good thing, or like, dang, you take that moment to make me, or again, you're setting the tone throughout your home, throughout your life, even at your job. I have always been my own source of energy and light because I'm going to set the tone for what I want. And I'm just going to be able to say I'm a naturally good person. And if you got a heart of a good person, and you got the heart of a good person, if you can make the change. But remember, you can make the change any day. But I've always been a very positive person. So be intentional even about how we respond to things that we want. Encourage it. Even the things with the children that you want to see them do different. Again, come from a light place, right? Not a scolding place, because now it's more of a fearful thing. Then like, hey, mom would rather you know what, if you do the dishes like this, maybe you need to use warmer water, it'll make the dishes not greasy, right? So correcting them because they really have washed up dishes. You can give them some little pointers to kind of, okay, mom paid attention, she knowing. And instead of saying, these dishes are not clean. So mom, sometimes that little intention and research to make sure we relay the message that we want to relay in the way that we want it to or can be received, and not kids shutting down or feeling scolded, or our spouse. And then put yourself in that position. If it's something, moms, we're not perfect, right? Every day is a learning day. So if something that you did wrong, or you forgot, hey mom, hey, I needed email was sent home or something. You would want it to be said respectfully. You would want any type of interaction with your kids to be respectful, right? But if they came to us in a way scolding us or trying to belittle us because of it, think about their emotion. Think about how you're saying things, and if you were on the other end of that. And I can always say that I've been like that. And that's because I grew up an emotional child. My family did not have to scream. And thank God I did not come from a screaming, cursing home, because I was an emotional child. All you have to do is look at me kind of like, with a mad face. I was going to be like, oh, I did something. I don't know what's going on. I just never wanted that. And the way I parent is like that. I never want to scream, and I don't want to do all that in my home. Now, am I saying that motherhood, that won't have days where our kids are pushing our butt? No, but we remember too, with love and proper setting the tone and communication, can we, again, control the narrative of what's going on. So remember, somebody got to be level-headed and use their experience and knowledge, which should be the parents. And also remember the importance of giving things a break as a mother or a wife, or, even being single with friends and relations. It's okay to give space and time to think things through. Process time. I always think that we want things so quick, so fast. I need the answer right now. I need this right now. That we don't give things enough time to marinate. Think about it in a different state of mind, whether that's one after you have taken a nap, you just woke up in the morning, in the evening when you're finally home from work. Be okay with thinking things through and making people wait for the answer, which is helping other people too. So the kids may say, Mom, I want to. I'm like, you know what? Send Mom the link. Let me take a look at it. I'm not going to instantly give an answer. I'm going to take my time and take a look and make sure. So be okay with going at your own pace and a pace that you're comfortable with and you know about. So if they're, Mom, I want to go to my friend's house and they're from my school. It's rushed. I don't know them. I need to do proper time to, see if that's a place that I can be comfortable with. So be okay with going at your own pace. Don't feel rushed. And I'm one of those too. I got to take my time. I'm not going to rush. Y'all know that I'm a registered nurse. So with nursing, you have to know how to critical think, but you know the importance of taking your time as well to make sure that the action that you're taking is going to be helpful and not harmful. So it's that same kind of thought process in motherhood and just life in general. Even as a single young lady, you want to be married, eventually, if that's what you're striving for, right? Or even just dating, so be intentional. Y'all like the hair. Thank you. Yeah, I told you, new season, all things new. So, not a ring on my married finger. This is my married hand. I am a divorced woman. And remember, it's just a new chapter in life after divorce. It goes on. So, I'm here to share the journey real time with y'all. Love your channel, motivating son in college. I love mother babies no way you carry yourself. Thank you, y'all. And just wanted to be on way more. I just appreciate the love and support that y'all continue to show me. I'm telling you, that's the motivation. That's one of my motivations. Is just the way y'all show up. The consistency. How can I not be consistent? You're being consistent. How can I not be real if y'all are being real? I read as many comments as I can. Y'all know it. I'm in the comments. I'm watching. And just wanting y'all to know that a new season, life goes on. And through my transparency and my sharing of my journey, I feel like there's purpose in that. And with that, there's so much more that I just want to share with y'all. Because again, I feel like it's an internet family where we're going to share our life experiences. We're going to motivate y'all. We're going to reach our goals. We're going to affirm the life that we want to live. We're going to set the tone. We're going to control the narrative. We're going to know that our happiness matters. We matter. And that life goes on, and so do we. But I don't want to stay on too long. Make sure make sure y'all like the video. Let me send some love and support my way. And there's going to be plenty more videos because there's so much more that we need to discuss and just, y'all, we're going to do it together. But bye, y'all. I'm not going to hold you too long. Again, I hope there was a message in here for you, and see you on the next video. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all. Y'all know that's what I like to say. That's my bye, y'all.